the Silent Village of Anjikuni. In November of 1930, a man named Joe LaBelle arrived at a small Inuit village near Lake Anjikuni in northern Canada. He was expecting warmth, voices, the smell of food cooking over fire. Instead, he found silence. Not ordinary silence, but the kind that presses against your ears. The entire village was gone. No bodies, no struggle, no explanation, just absence. This is the story of the Silent Village of Anjikuni. Joe LaBelle was a fur trapper. He had visited the Inuit settlement before. He knew the people. The village, located near Lake Anjikuni in the Kivalliq region of Nunavut, was home to roughly 30 to 2,000 Inuit, depending on which account you believe. That night, as he approached, something felt wrong. There were no dogs barking, no smoke rising from chimneys, no movement. When he entered the village, he found homes intact, personal belongings untouched, food still inside cooking pots. One account even claims a meal was left frozen on the table. Rifles, essential tools for Arctic survival, were reportedly still inside the homes. Why would an entire community leave behind the very tools needed to survive sub-zero temperatures? LaBelle checked every hut. Nothing. No footprints leading away. No signs of a fight. Just an entire settlement, erased. LaBelle reportedly traveled to the nearest telegraph office and contacted the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Officers were dispatched to investigate, and this is where the story becomes even stranger. According to early newspaper reports, the village graves were allegedly dug up, the bodies inside were missing, the sled dogs were found dead, tied up, having starved. But here's the complication. Modern RCMP records do not confirm these details. In fact, official statements later suggested there was no evidence that a large village ever existed there in no mass disappearance report, no confirmed excavation of graves. So which version is true? Was this a catastrophic migration, a tragic misunderstanding, or something exaggerated by sensational newspapers? Over the decades, theories began to spread. Theory 1. Migration. Some historians suggest the Inuit may have simply relocated due to food scarcity. Caribou populations fluctuate. Harsh winters force movement, but migration doesn't explain why supplies were left behind, why rifles were reportedly untouched, why no clear trail was found. And in Arctic survival, you take everything. Theory 2. Starvation or environmental disaster. Could famine have forced a sudden evacuation? Possibly. But mass starvation leaves evidence. Bodies, abandoned camps, signs of distress. There were none reported, at least not officially. Theory 3. Disease. In the early 20th century, diseases like influenza devastated Inuit populations. If illness spread quickly, perhaps survivors fled in fear. But again, why leave behind essential tools? Theory 4. Something more unexplained. This is where the story shifts into legend. Some accounts claim a strange blue light was seen in the sky that night. Others say the village was taken, not abandoned. Stories of extraterrestrial involvement began appearing decades later, but there is no verified evidence supporting this. Still, the total absence of physical remains continues to fuel speculation, because vanishing without a trace feels unnatural. Here's what complicates the entire case. Many historians argue the story was heavily exaggerated by newspapers in the 1930s. Some even suggest the event may have been partially fabricated. No confirmed RCMP file describes a mass disappearance. No archaeological record supports a large missing population. It's possible that, in remote Arctic regions, stories travel faster than proof. And once a legend forms, it rarely disappears. Whether exaggerated or real, the story of Anjikuni endures because it taps into something deeper, the fear of emptiness, of arriving somewhere familiar and finding it erased. Entire communities do not simply vanish, and yet history is filled with places where silence replaced life. Maybe Anjikuni was a misunderstanding, maybe it was survival, or maybe some files were never meant to be closed. If you want to explore more hidden files like this, subscribe and step into the Midnight Archives, because some truths only surface at midnight.